Look at the sheer physical scale required to launch a legacy television network. Broadcasters had to construct production facilities, lease satellite uplinks, and spend millions of dollars on proprietary equipment before a single viewer could tune in. Modern cloud computing and open-source software, like the A-Video project, completely erased those massive physical borders and barriers overnight. Today, a local church, an educational institution, or an independent sports league can spin up a professional, multi-channel streaming platform for less than the cost of a monthly utility bill. But the internet solved the wrong problem. It made hosting cheap, but it completely broke distribution. The barrier to entry isn't buying a broadcast license anymore. The barrier is getting people to find your website in an ocean of infinite, disconnected content. Look at how traditional television operated. The landscape was highly structured, carefully scheduled, and tightly controlled. The real power of the cable industry was not the copper wires. The true assets were the permanent channel number and the unified programming guide. Viewers always knew exactly where to find the news, because it was always on Channel 5. Modern independent broadcasters face an impossible choice. They can hand over their content, their branding, and their revenue to a massive tech giant in exchange for visibility. Or they can host their content on their own independent website and risk total invisibility. To fix the internet television landscape, we don't need to build another centralized video hosting site. We need to build the exact organizational infrastructure that traditional television always relied on. That is the exact purpose of the Worldwide Broadcast Network, or WWBN. It is an infrastructure registry designed to organize independent video platforms. When an independent streaming site registers with WWBN, it receives a permanent, universally recognized network number. The registry takes the raw, mismatched data feeds coming from these sites, whether they run on open-source platforms or proprietary enterprise systems, and normalizes them into one standard technical language. It maps the network into distinct channels, and then maps those channels into scheduled programs. In the early days of the internet, the domain name system turned chaotic strings of numbers into easy-to-navigate websites. WWBN performs the exact same function for internet video, transforming a fragmented landscape into a unified architecture. Once the registry is established, cross-platform discovery becomes possible. Tools like SearchTube and SearchPPV can instantly scan thousands of independent networks simultaneously, indexing free videos, premium rentals, and live events. A dedicated scheduling layer, ITV.guide, pulls the live events, premieres, and scheduled broadcasts from those registered networks into a single, globally accessible television guide. An API layer called OS.TV pushes all of this organized search and guide data directly into smart TVs and connected devices. The economic mechanic here is completely different. When a viewer clicks play, they are immediately routed out of the search hub directly onto the creator's independent server. The creator retains complete ownership of the interaction, controlling pricing, collecting subscriber data, and processing their own transactions. Broadcasters achieve the massive exposure of a centralized network while maintaining the total autonomy of an independent website. This solves the audience acquisition problem. Creators no longer have to convince viewers to bookmark an obscure new website just to watch their niche content. You simply market a specific channel number that is already active inside a unified global discovery engine. By utilizing an open standard infrastructure, an independent broadcaster achieves the exact same technical footprint as a legacy media corporation. The size of your audience becomes determined purely by the quality of your programming, rather than your ability to buy access to closed distribution pipelines. The missing organizational layer of internet television has been built. Thousands of scattered, isolated video platforms can now operate together as a single, interoperable ecosystem. If you operate an online video platform for a university, a media company, a local church, or your own independent brand, you can register your network with the WWBN today. You do not have to surrender your content to be seen. You can own your platform, control your audience, and still broadcast to the world.